President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the Senate to confirm the nomination of Anthony Ojukwu, SAN, for reappointment as the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission and appointment of Honorable Justice Stanley Adekunle Lawal as the substantive President of the Customary Court of Appeal of the Federal Capital Territory. This is contained in a letter the Senate President Lawal read at plenary on Tuesday. Lawal then directed the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to screen both nominees and report back to the Senate.
Those in favor of the motion that the Senate do consider the request of Mr. President C&C on the confirmation of the nomination of Mr. Anthony Ojukwu, SAN, for appointment as Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission in accordance with the provisions of Section 7, Subsection 2 of the National Human Rights Commission Amendment Act 2010. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The request of Mr. President C&C is hereby referred to the Committee on Judiciary, Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters for further legislative action to report back within 2 weeks. Chairman, 2 weeks, or you need only 1 week? 1 week. Within 1 week. Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do consider the request of Mr. President C&C on the confirmation of the nomination of Honorable Justice Stanley Adekunle Lawal for appointment as the substantive President of the Customary Court of Appeal of the Federal Capital Territory in accordance with the Section 266, Subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The request of Mr. President C&C is referred to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters for further legislative action to report back within 1 week. Within 1 week. Thank you, Chairman.
During the screening session, both nominees were interviewed and answered questions on qualifications, also on tropical, legal, and contemporary issues, while giving solutions to problems faced in their respective offices.
I want a situation whereby there will be quick disposition of cases in court. And that brings me to the point, not only in my court, but in Nigeria courts. And that brings to mind that if we must achieve that, there is need for us as a nation to either reassign the portfolio and workloads of courts so that we can distribute it more evenly, so that some courts will not be working and working more than their limit. And as a result of that, the cases will be suffering, while other courts will not have much to do. It will be in the interest of the country if we can reassign, jurisdiction. And I intend to appeal to the National Assembly, because it's only the National Assembly that can help us out. I believe, to my mind, that all family issues all over the world are related to customs and Islamic law. Are we talking of marriage? Our custom comes to play. Islamic law comes to play. Are we talking of inheritance? Our custom comes to play. Islamic law comes to play. So if that is the case, I did not see any reason why the Customary Court of Appeal cannot try all matrimonial causes. The judiciary as a whole are not well funded. If we believe judiciary is a third arm of government, I don't think it is too much if the budget of the nation, if judiciary can be given, even if it is 1% or 1.5% of the total budget of Nigeria, I don't think it's too much for one arm of government. In a situation whereby judiciary have far less than 1% of the total annual budget, that is why judiciary is being underfunded.
So the first thing I had to do was to have a plan, a global plan of what I needed to do in the 5 years of my first tenure. So the first thing we did was to do a strategic work plan. And the strategic work plan was quite encompassing. We had to deal with all stakeholders, civil society, the parliament, the academia, the complainants themselves, and fellow government agencies, and develop a strategic work plan, which was the blueprint based on which we are going to work. On the issue of low morale, I engaged government to provide for staff what we call protection and investigation allowance. This allowance is what encourages staff to embark on some of the hazardous tasks we encounter in the course of our work. Then, the low awareness in the country. First of all, we decided to have offices in the 36 states and the FCT, because we found out that what would be the justification for one state to have a human rights commission and another state would not have? Does it mean that the rights of people in that state are not going to be protected? So we decided to have offices in the 36 states. But then, having established offices in 36 states, it also led to more awareness, and right now we get about 1.5 million complaints in a year. It's a very big challenge, and we're trying to grapple with that because the resources have not increased at the rate we are getting complaints. But what we have done is we now targeted that we must make sure that instead of complaints staying up to 1 year or 2 years before they are processed, we now are working on making sure that complaints will not stay a maximum of 3 months to 6 months before they are dealt in the commission. But that means enormous stress on staff, enormous stress on the resources, and thank God for the support of the National Assembly in lifting our budget to where it is now, even though we still need more. And I know that this committee has promised me that they will do whatever it takes to make sure that in the upcoming supplementary budget that the budgetary allocation to the Commission will be improved to help us cope with the avalanche of complaints we are getting. The issue of impunity is one of the things we met when we came to office. You will recall the police brutality went to a level in this country that everybody was yearning for something to be done, because it was common for a police officer would tell you that I'll deal with you and nothing will happen. I'll kill you and nothing will happen. So we descended on these complaints. We instituted this investigation panel on SARS even before the end SARS protest of 2020. Immediately I came into office in 2018, the first panel of inquiry I instituted was on SARS. And we made recommendations to government, including the disbandment of SARS, police reforms, and so on and so forth. And luckily, because these recommendations were on ground, when the end SARS protests erupted in 2020, government had a quick solution to them.
Subsequently, the chairman, the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Okweyemi Bamidele, representing Ekiti Central, stated that the committee will recommend the nominees and present their reports to the Senate for consideration.
Will the committee recommend to the Senate the confirmation of nominations of 1. Honorable Justice Lawal Stanley as the Honorable President, Customary Court of Appeal of the FCT, and 2. Mr. Anthony Ojukwu SA and OFR as Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. I want to thank all the members and order the confirmation of the nomination to be reported out following the gavel. And to also thank all our distinguished colleagues, gentlemen of the press, we thank you for your time. And with this, we will be able to lay our report for consideration by the Senate tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Motion for adjournment. Okay, motion moved by Senator Atibola Bashir.
and seconded by our Vice Chairman, Senior Senator Okaje. So the meeting is hereby adjourned sine die.
Others present at the screening sessions were members of the committee and stakeholders from the Human Rights Commission and Customary Court of Appeal.